Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's reading is going to be about what Spirit wants you to know. So go ahead and take a moment to meditate with these cards and just allow your intuition to guide you to whatever card or cards you find yourself most drawn towards. And I will also leave the timestamps for each group of the reading in the description as well. Hello Group 1 and welcome to your reading about what Spirit wants you to know. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the card that you chose, and this card is going to represent the overall energetic theme of the reading. And I'm also going to build upon that as well by getting a few more tarot cards, followed by some oracle cards to get a little bit more insight and information about these energies. So let's go ahead and take a look at the card that you chose here. So the card that we have for you is the Ace of Cups, and this is definitely a beautiful energy to begin your reading, Group 1. And the Ace of Cups, this is really all about a new offer or a new blessing from Spirit coming your way. And this could definitely involve some kind of romantic or some kind of energy involving love or some kind of emotional involvement, but it definitely has some kind of relationship to a matter of the heart in some kind of way. But the Ace of Cups, this is like I said, it's really all about a new opportunity or a new blessing from Spirit really coming in, and it's really the beginning of a new chapter in your life in a lot of ways, I feel, with this card. And with this Ace of Cups, I feel that it's really planting a seed that must be nourished and really attended to. And in a lot of ways, this is the beginning of a new chapter, a new cycle, something that is going to unfold over a longer period of time. And with this Ace of Cups, it's really kind of making me feel that there's definitely going to be some kind of beautiful opportunity unfolding for you. And this could definitely be a new relationship, or maybe even a pregnancy, or a marriage as well, but some kind of new milestone in a lot of ways, I feel, with this energy. So I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading by getting a few more tarot cards just to get a little bit more information about these energies. But this Ace of Cups is definitely a beautiful way to begin your reading, and it's definitely a beautiful new beginning for you, I feel. So I'm going to go ahead and get a few more cards for you from our Light Seers Tarot here, and we're just going to see what else Spirit wants you to know. All right. So we're just going to get you a few more cards. I have one that just came out. I'm going to get one more for you. Okay. So the next card that we have is the Queen of Swords, which is quite interesting. And then the next card that we have is the Hierophant. And I do see the energy of Taurus here with this this Hierophant card, and I'll get into discussing this one in a moment, but I'll begin by discussing the Queen of Swords first. And this Queen of Swords, this is definitely a very strong feminine energy, and it definitely involves having to remain strong and logical when making a decision. And maybe not necessarily when making a decision, but when processing any kind of energy, or just when living your life, it's important to remain disciplined, focused, logical, and to not necessarily let your heart be making all the decisions for you. So there definitely has to be that balance with this Queen of Swords energy, but um, it definitely has a very intellectual kind of vibe to it with this Swords energy. It definitely has a lot of mental energy as well as swords. The Swords cards really do heavily relate to matters of the mind, and they also relate to the element of air as well, and the air signs within the zodiac. And this Queen of Swords, with this card, I feel that it's very important to remain balanced with this new opportunity and this new beginning. I feel that maybe this could potentially possibly indicate that there's some kind of new relationship, but it's important to remain a little bit more, to also remain a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more mature, and to not necessarily look at life with rose-tinted glasses all the time. And to be mature and focused, and to also to be a little bit more logical when making decisions and when thinking things through. I think that this is really what this card is ultimately indicating, is that it's important to think things through when embarking on a new journey, when spirit is offering this new blessing to you. It's also important to remain to not necessarily let your guard down. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is don't let your guard down, and think things through rationally and clearly, and don't let your heart or your emotions cloud your judgment when embarking upon this new journey and beginning this new chapter of whatever this may be for you. And I think it's a very beautiful thing. And this Queen of Swords definitely doesn't indicate necessarily something negative, but I think it's important to always maintain that balance between the heart and the mind, and to not let yourself be overly consumed by one energy or the other, because that can often lead to some detrimental situations. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading by discussing this next card here with the Hierophant. And this card is often associated with the energy of Taurus as well. So you may potentially have astrological natal placements within that sign. But whether you do or not, always just take this reading as it resonates with you. And but with this card of the Hierophant, this card often indicates traditional structures in our society, and it can often indicate marriage or government, or even religious institutions as well. Institutions, I think, is the word I'm looking for here. It definitely relates very much to tradition and those long-term social structures that have been in place for forever, really, and that's not necessarily always a bad thing. And I think that with this Hierophant card, I think that it could potentially relate to a marriage, but maybe not necessarily. I think that, especially with this Queen of Swords, I think that it's important to to really develop your mind and expand your consciousness in every way possible. And in this Hierophant card also relates to education and higher education as well. Just it kind of has, there's definitely that hierarchy of knowledge as well with this Hierophant card. But I think it's important to just remain a little bit more firm, focused, and deliberate, and to also remain dedicated to the path as well, and to also, with the Hierophant card, I think it's also important to remain humble and to remember that you don't always have all the answers and know everything, and sometimes there's always things that we can learn from others, and people that have been there before and walked the path before us, if that makes any sense. But I think it's important to allow yourself to be guided on this journey forward, and to keep your energy strong, and to not let yourself be overly swayed by any shiny distractions, I guess you could say. To walk firmly, and to remain dedicated and focused on the path, basically, is what I'm getting with this energy here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading by getting a card from our Moonology Oracle, just to get you a little bit more insight and information from Spirit here. So let's go ahead and get you another card. Okay, so the next card that we have is the full moon in Pisces. Forgive. And I think that this is an interesting energy as well, especially placed next to this Queen of Swords. And I do also think that it's rather interesting because this reading is being recorded during the full moon in Capricorn. So the lunar energy is definitely highly potent during this time. And with a full moon, it's really a time of things really coming into full manifestation, full illumination, full embodiment. And it's a time to really celebrate what we've accomplished and the things that have come full circle and the things that we have really brought about and we've alchemized and manifested. It's a time to really be grateful for that. And within the sign of Pisces, this is very much connected to the higher dimensions, to the realm of spirit. And with this Piscean energy, it's definitely very much connected to the ocean and that greater collective consciousness and that greater expansive oneness with all that is. And with this card, I really feel that it's asking you to forgive yourself for any times that you may have not necessarily embodied the Queen of Swords, or maybe it was difficult to stand in your power, or it was difficult to speak your truth, or to do something that you have been avoiding. And I think that this card is asking you to forgive yourself and to remember that in each moment, to always remember that within each moment there is a chance to embody a new energy, and that you can forgive yourself for those past mistakes. And as difficult as it may be, we can always move forward, and we can always continue to climb that ladder higher and to walk the path forward and to evolve spiritually and intellectually. And to remember that there's always going to be a new opportunity, and there's always going to be hope. And even when things haven't necessarily gone the way that you wanted them to, maybe when you put a lot of time and energy into something, maybe it didn't work out. Maybe this is an opportunity to really forgive yourself for any mistakes, anything that you're holding against yourself in any kind of way. This is a chance to release that energy and to allow yourself to be lighter and to be more free and attuned to those higher vibrational frequencies. So I think this is a beautiful card of hope and of peace and just of forgiveness and self-love. And I think this is a beautiful opportunity to find that balance between the heart and the mind, and to remember that every day is a new day, and we always have this new beginning and this new blessing available to us within each moment, within each decision that we make. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude your reading with a final card from our cosmic dancer oracle. And I'm just going to go ahead and get you a final card here. Okay, so I have another card for you, and the card that we have is Via Channel. And I think this is a beautiful card. And with this energy, I feel that Spirit is truly calling you to attune and connect to those higher vibrational frequencies, and to remember that you truly are one with Spirit. You are that unity and that sacred sacred embodiment of the divine within the universe in physical form within this dimension. And I think that sometimes when we can allow ourselves to maybe relax a little bit more and to quiet the chatter within our minds and connect, and also connect to the frequencies of nature, to be very, very conscious about what energies we surround ourselves with. But when our energy field is cleansed and clear, and when things are flowing the way they should, there definitely is a beautiful magic that can happen with Spirit, and we can really allow some amazing downloads to come through when we allow ourselves to be that channel. And even through the process of divination within even reading through the tarot or with oracle cards, we can also channel the energies and the messages of Spirit as well. There are many different forms of channeling, and different practices work better for different individuals. But I think that this card is really reminding you that you can tap into those frequencies and those messages and those downloads when you choose to. And sometimes it's difficult living in this world with the distractions and the busyness of our day-to-day lives and our schedules. Sometimes it's difficult to find that stillness, that time to tune into Spirit. But I think that this is really a sign that this is extremely important, that you have an amazing power within you to forgive, and to remember that you are an amazing and powerful sacred alchemist within your life, and that you really can use this information and these downloads from Spirit in order to create a new beginning, and to use these new blessings and offers from Spirit to really strengthen your mind, and to remain firm in your power, and firm in your mind, and to also continue climb the ladder of that expansion of consciousness, and the cultivation of that sacred knowledge, and to also tune into the wisdom from the elders and the ancestors and the ancient traditions of the community. I think that's very important as well, to connect to the roots of the community. It's very important with this Taurus Hierophant energy. But I'm just kind of doing a little review of your reading here in a conclusion. So hopefully this made sense. Hopefully this resonated with you. And but I just wanted to say to finish off here that you definitely are very much connected with Spirit at all times, and always remember that you can always tap into that, and you have that power, you have that frequency, and it's truly a gift, and it's always a choice to show up and embody that and practice that on a daily basis. And our energies are always going to ebb and flow and fluctuate, and that's just the way of life. And all we can do is our best at the end of the day. So I think it's important. I think it's important to remember that. And I'm going to go ahead and end your reading here on that note, Group 1. And thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute privilege to bring you this reading. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love, and so many blessings upon your journey. Thank you so much. Hello, Group 2, and welcome to your reading about what Spirit wants you to know. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the card that you chose, and this card is going to represent the overall energetic theme of the reading. And I'm also going to build upon that as well by getting a few more tarot cards, followed by some oracle cards to get a little bit more insight and information about these energies. So let's go ahead and take a look at the card that you chose. And the card that we have is the Star. And this is absolutely beautiful. And I have to say, this is my absolute favorite card within the tarot. And this card is also associated with the astrological sign of Aquarius as well. But this card, this is really all about having that connection with Spirit. And that's what this card is really all about, that hope and renewal. And oftentimes that hope and renewal is after a period of turmoil and destruction, chaos. And this card is a reminder that Spirit is always with you, and that you are also Spirit as well, and that there is that infinite sacred connection, and to remember that you are part of that source, and that connection is always there, and it's something that you can always tap into at any time as you choose. And this card is, it's really a sign that sacred wisdom really is within your heart, and that Spirit is always there, guiding you, protecting you, and that you never walk alone, and that you really always should smile because you never are alone. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but it's true, and it's something to really be happy about. It's something to have deep gratitude for. That divine, sacred connection is something quite powerful, and you really can channel those downloads from Spirit as you choose, and you're not always going to necessarily get the answers that you want, but you're always going to get something of value when you choose to tap into Spirit. And the Star is a reminder that there's always going to be that hope, and that new beginning after something challenging, or after something painful, and that you never walk alone, and that you are held, that you are protected, and that you are loved by Spirit. And in the end, we all return to Source. We all return to dust, but our consciousness returns to that sacred field of cosmic oneness, and that energy gets recycled however Spirit sees fit. And I think it's something that we can really relax and trust into, that knowing and that trusting of love and of connection, because it's something that we can really feel within our hearts when we choose to listen to it. It's something that it's always there, singing in the background of our energy, and that is Spirit within us, the song of Spirit within our own energy field. And the star is a reminder that you are one with Spirit, and that this life is truly a gift, truly a blessing, and that you are here for a very important reason, to be a channel for spirit and to do the work of spirit as well, the great work, and to really make this reality a true masterpiece. So I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading here by getting you a few more cards from our Light Seers Tarot. And I'm just going to get you a little bit more information about this energy here. But I love this this card that we have to begin your reading here. Star is always my favorite card, so it's definitely a very nice way to begin. So go ahead and get you a few more cards. All right. So I have another card. I'm going to get you one more. Okay. So the next card that we have is the Eight of Cups. Very interesting. Okay. And then the next card that we have is the Two of Wands. So I think this is kind of interesting. I'll begin by discussing this Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups, this is really all about leaving something behind that really hasn't worked out, and just walking in a new direction. And even when it's painful, with the Eight of Cups, it's necessary to keep moving forward and to keep walking into a brighter horizon, as you can see within the imagery here. It's leaving something behind that was maybe it was fulfilling for a little while, or maybe there was some kind of lesson. There was some kind of lesson in it at the time, but the time has come for you to really expand and grow and to continue moving forward in a different direction. Maybe what you're leaving behind is no longer aligned with your ultimate soul's trajectory and your soul's evolutionary path, basically. But with this Eight of Cups, there is some kind of ending. There is some kind of closing out of a chapter, and it definitely can be. It can be a painful ending, and it's a time. It's also a feeling that there is some kind of unfinished business as well, and maybe it's time for you to walk away from something, and because you've realized that your energy is being called and pulled elsewhere, and it's time to really focus your energy and your motivation on something that's really more aligned with your path. But it's definitely a sign that something is ending, something is closing out, and you are moving away from something that is no longer in the same frequency to move forward with you. But this is always a good thing, and I think that this is ultimately a message from spirit and a sign that you are upgrading in your life. And sometimes these upgrades can feel like downgrades in the short term, but I think when we take that bird's eye view, that larger perspective about things, we ultimately we can see that these things that are leaving are for our greatest and our highest good in the long term, and it's ultimately so we can have something even better, and so we can have what we truly deserve, because our energy is evolving and upgrading as well. And maybe some things aren't attuned to that, and it's not going to, it's metaphysically not possible for it to carry itself forward along with you, if that makes any sense. But I'm going to go ahead and continue the reading here by discussing the Two of Wands. And this Two of Wands, it's really all about planning for the future. And um, in a lot of ways, it could indicate that you maybe haven't taken that step forward to really go on that journey just yet. But you're definitely doing that research. You're in the planning process at the moment. And um, I kind of thought of the perfect example of this because it's something that I'm kind of going through at the moment, but well, not really going through, but it's a good thing. But and this is definitely a positive energy, but it's kind of there's kind of like a little bit of a comfort zone there too, and I'll get to that in a second. But it's this energy indicates that you're in the planning phases of initiating a new bold step or a new journey, um, maybe taking a big leap of faith, or going on some kind of journey. I feel that it definitely could involve some kind of travel as well, very much so with the Two of Wands. But I think you're in the planning phase of maybe going on a vacation, or with my situation, it's planning to get a new tattoo and doing the research to look through different artists, and just to not really, I guess, to make sure that you're not rushing the process and that you're not skipping over anything, but you're not quite ready to take the leap just yet, and you still need to do a little bit more research, a little bit more planning in order to in order to solidify the energy, so you have that strength to take the next steps of action, if that makes sense. This is planning. This is the planning to take the action. And I think maybe you just need to get a few more pieces in order, and things in your ducks in a row a little bit more before you take that next step. But I think you're almost there, and that's kind of where I am on my journey as well with this specific example of the tattoo appointment thing. But but I think that this could very much involve some kind of trip, some kind of journey, maybe even international travel as well, or maybe even beginning some kind of new bold pursuit in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be necessarily travel, but a new bold step that you're about to initiate is about to happen. But I think you need to plan for it a little bit more and just get those details in order. I think that's what this is really all about. And I think that you're planning this. Maybe you're planning your next step after a big ending, after a big closure of something, the closure of a previous chapter in your life, after the closing out of an energy that was no longer aligned with your soul's higher path. And this in spirit is really truly guiding you to your ultimate form within this life, your ultimate manifestation, and how you can truly embody spirit in its greatest form as well. It's a synergistic relationship, and I think that when you consciously work with these energies, it can truly create magic, true alchemy within your life. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading by getting you another card from our Moonology Oracle. So I'm just going to go ahead and get you another message here from Spirit about these energies. So let's go ahead and get these a shuffle, and we will get you another card. All right, so I have another card for you. And the next card that we have is First Quarter Moon in Pisces. Honor your feelings. And I think this is interesting, especially when placed next to this Eight of Cups here. But with the first quarter moon, this is a time of this is a time when the energy is really beginning to build in momentum and strength, and those intentions that you put forth out into the universe, especially around the time of the new moon, is beginning to really build in that momentum. And the energy is also being strengthened and refined during this time as well. Things are beginning to build in intensity and potency and illumination. And within the sign of Pisces, this is really all about that connection to spirit, that divine attunement to that cosmic oneness, to that unity with source. And this energy really asks you to honor your feelings. And I think that this is very much relevant here when placed next to this Eight of Cups, because I feel that that there has been a great ending. There has been a very painful period of time that you've gone through in the recent past, maybe. And while as you've walked away from whatever this may be, it's been painful. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it's been empowering for you to walk away from whatever this may be, but it hasn't been easy, and it definitely has come with some difficult emotions to navigate through, and quite a bit of healing and shadow work as well. And this card, it asks you to honor your feelings. And I think that as these energies, they build in momentum, they build in strength, and as you refine those intentions, I think it's important to also remain a little bit more soft and a little bit more intuitively connected as well to whatever maybe a little bit painful within your energy, and to also remember that you can listen to that and tend to that as well, that you can have that balance between the doing and the being, that you can also take care of your needs and respect your energy as well when you're exhausted and feel drained by all the things on your to-do list. So I think it's important to remember that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude your reading by getting you a final card from our Cosmic Dancer Oracle. So just go ahead and get you a final card here, group 2. And I just wanted to say this has been a beautiful reading, and I think I know that you're very much connected with spirit, and that you're very much on the precipice of a very beautiful new beginning. And with every ending, there is always a new beginning. So I think that you're in the middle of that process currently, perhaps. But always take these readings as they resonate with you. And before I jump into this card, I did also just quickly want to mention that you may have astrological needle placements within the signs of Pisces or Aquarius. But whether you do or not, always take the readings as they resonate with you. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal this final card here. And the final card that we have is Look in the Mirror. And I think that this is a very interesting card, and you can interpret this on so many different levels. But I'll talk about it. I'll read it in a few different ways. But I could see this as maybe really taking a look at the energy, really taking a look at yourself, as in maybe being a little bit more self-aware about how you impact others with your energy, and maybe just having a little bit more awareness as to how you maybe interact with others, or the impact that you have with your energy. I'm not saying that you're not aware of that, but that's just one way that you can interpret that. Maybe also looking in the mirror as a way of celebrating the beauty and radiance within you, and acknowledging that sacred energy of the universe is also present within the physical form of your body. And And I can kind of see this as well as if you maybe have some kind of body image issues. This is really a beautiful opportunity to maybe focus on self-love and focus on that inner healing. Focus on healing that relationship with your body and with your sense of self-worth. But I kind of see this as just also having that self-awareness and taking a look within, taking a look at the energy that you embody, how it affects others, how it affects the world around you, and being maybe a little bit more present and maybe a little bit less inwardly focused sometimes. I guess that's not what I'm trying to say. Maybe being that didn't really, I didn't really describe that very well, but doing the inner work within in order to basically working from the inside out is what I'm trying to say. And by doing that inner work, it's reflected back to the external world as well, like a mirror. And the external is truly a reflection of the internal, ultimately, as above, so below. So just obviously take this reading as it resonates with you. And I'm going to go ahead and conclude your reading here, Group 2. And I just wanted to say it's been an absolute privilege to bring you this reading. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love, and so many blessings upon your journey. Thank you so much. Hello, Group 3, and welcome to your reading about what Spirit wants you to know. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the card that you chose, and this card is going to represent the overall energetic theme of the reading. And I'm also going to build upon that as well by getting a few more tarot cards, followed by some oracle cards to get a little bit more insight and information about these energies. So let's go ahead and take a look at the card that you chose. And the card that we have is Judgment. And this is a very interesting way to begin your reading here, Group 3. And card of Judgment, I believe this is associated with the energies of Pluto, and also can be associated with the energies of Scorpio as well. But this card is very much about truth and revelation, and it can also be about divine justice as well. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing or a scary thing. And in many ways, it can be in the form of the answers that you've been waiting for. This Judgment card, and there's so many layers to this card as well, because you can also interpret this as literal judgment of yourself or others. This could also be some kind of judgment in the form of a legal judgment or some kind of divine judgment. So there's definitely very many layers and interpretations with this card and this energy. But with this reading specifically, I kind of feel that it can involve a few different things. And I feel that with this card, it's really indicating to me that maybe you've been possibly having anxiety about something for quite some time, and maybe this isn't the answer that you had hoped for. Whatever this news may be, maybe you've been having anxiety about not knowing something, and maybe now you received some answers. It maybe wasn't necessarily quite what you wanted to hear, but now you know. And there's this flood of relief with this energy as well. There's even if it's not what you wanted, even if it feels like a punishment, at least you know, at least you can take it on, at least you can embrace it for what it is. And it's the instant, it's that instant effect, that cause and effect, this Judgment card. I feel that it's very much related to the energy of the Justice card as well. I feel the energies are very similar, but it definitely has that Plutonian vibe of that underworld and that shadow work as well. There's definitely something that needs to be addressed with the Judgment card, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a scary or a negative thing. But I feel that it's a sign from Spirit that something maybe needs to be acknowledged within yourself, and to maybe pay attention to how you're judging yourself or judging others, and to maybe focus on embodying more humility, and maybe just just practicing humility, and just attuning to the wisdom of Spirit as much as possible, and just really listening. But I don't feel that with this card that you've necessarily done anything wrong, but I think it's a sign to really pay attention to the energy that you embody, and to remember that there are consequences for your actions as well. So I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading by getting you a few more cards from our Light Seers Tarot here. So let's go ahead and get you a couple more cards, and we will see what else Spirit wants you to know. All right, so I have a few more cards. And the first card that we have is the Ten of Swords. And I'll discuss that in a second. And the next card that we have is the Four of Wands. I think this is really interesting because in a lot of ways these energies are very much opposites. But the Ten of Swords, this can indicate total destruction, total annihilation, something very painful, really your life feeling like it's in total ruins in some ways, total destruction. But in a lot of ways, it's also a liberation. I kind of feel that maybe this is just like a random scenario I came up with. I feel like maybe her house burned to the ground, and there's nothing left. She has nothing left but the clothes on her back, and a new sunrise, and to walk into, and the hope for a new future and an even better home. Maybe this place was, absolutely horrible, and now she's free, now she's liberated. But with the Ten of Swords, yes, there is that destruction, there is that ending, there is that pain. Oftentimes this energy is depicted by being stabbed by 10 swords in the back, and just being totally annihilated, totally ruined. But with every end, there's always a new beginning, and with this energy, I feel that you're also very much a phoenix rising from the ashes, and that this is something that can be overcome, and that this is something that Spirit has put perhaps on your path in order to help make you stronger, and to make you more resilient, and as a test to really help you be the warrior that you were meant to be. So, but I feel that this doesn't necessarily have to mean your whole life, being ruined. This could be, something that just feels like, everything is horrible in the moment. It doesn't necessarily have to be, something catastrophic. This could be, can manifest on many levels. So don't see this as, a sign to, be worried or to have anxiety for any reason. And sometimes we make these things out to be the end of the world when they're really not. And sometimes that's another way that this card can be interpreted, as well as us blowing things out of proportion and um, maybe being a little bit overly dramatic about something that feels like it's the end of the world, when really it's just a minor inconvenience in some ways. And life goes on, and it's only going to make us stronger. And spirit never gives us anything we can't handle. But I definitely don't want to say that to invalidate anyone who's going through something catastrophic. And I think it's important to always remember that that there is always support, resources, and help available to you, and to definitely reach out for them when you need them. And but I think that you are at the beginning of a new chapter, and with every end there's a new beginning, and I think you're beginning to realize that. And this is something that I think that you are being liberated by whatever this is. And I think you're coming into a place of greater self-awareness, and sometimes even things, I think that sometimes things can feel like a punishment, but in many ways they're truly a blessing. And we see that many times, maybe years down the road. And that kind of brings me into this Four of Wands energy as well. The Four of Wands, this is really all about celebrations, parties, very festive events. And I could see this as involving a wedding or a gathering, a party, maybe even a music festival, a carnival, some kind of lively event. And it's some kind of celebration. But I think that maybe after navigating through these maybe more dense, heavier energies, I think that this is leading you into a time of really celebrating how far you've come, and enjoying a little bit more lightness along the way as well, because everything ebbs and flows within this life, and the density is eventually alleviated, and the frequencies begin to rise to a higher level eventually. But it's also something that we can consciously choose to embody to a certain extent as well. But I think that after a period of pain or challenge, I think that you're headed in a more you're headed in a better direction. And I think that there's going to be many things to celebrate in your near future, as well as you've been liberated from something that's been weighing you down in a lot of ways, I feel. And I feel that you're getting that maybe you're dealing with some things that maybe they're difficult, maybe it feels, maybe it's not fun in the moment, but it's going to set you up for long-term happiness and success. And maybe it feels like these are some of the worst times of your life, but I think that you're really picking up the pieces and getting your ducks in a row, getting things in order, so you can have those moments of peace, those moments of celebration, those more lighthearted times. And I think that things really come and go in cycles, and I think that you're leaving a painful past behind, and yes, it is a time of judgment, and I think that ultimately it is a reward. And you can really see things from multiple different perspectives as you choose to, and it really depends on what frequency you choose to align with. So I think it's important to remember that you are going to be rewarded for doing this shadow work, for doing this painful healing in the painful work that needs to be done. Maybe it's not painful, maybe it's tedious, maybe it's exhausting or difficult, or it feels like there's no time for fun. But I think it's important to remember that it's ultimately temporary and that you are going to be rewarded, and that there is great wisdom and there's much great wisdom and many valuable lessons within this experience. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and continue your reading here by getting you another card from our Moonology Oracle. So I'm going to go ahead and get you another message here. Okay, so the next card that we have is a first quarter moon in Taurus. Release control. So the first quarter moons, these are times when the energy is really building in momentum, and it's time to really refine those intentions that you put forth out into the universe around the time of the new moon. It's time to really to refine and to strengthen those intentions and to put in that hard work as that energy continues throughout the cycle. But within the sign of Taurus, this is all about our connection to the earth, our connection to Mother Gaia, and also our connection with our body as well. To remember that we are of the earth, and we are of the stars. But we have to tend to our bodies and take care of the practical day-to-day needs of life. And there's definitely a very grounded energy with Taurus, and I think that it's a time to maybe release that control of trying to do everything, to be everything, to be everyone for everyone, and maybe to release that control of trying to be perfect, and to remember that sometimes you just have to rest, you just have to take care of your needs, of your body. And especially when you're navigating through something a little bit more heavy as well, when you're maybe going through some challenging endings in your life, navigating through some difficult shadow work, I think it's important to release that control of having to always not only meet other people's expectations, but to meet your own expectations, because sometimes we're more hard on ourselves than anyone else is on us. So I think it's important to remember that we don't always have to do everything perfectly or show up perfectly in order to be good enough or to be valuable. And it's okay to just be as you are, and there's always going to be some value in that. And there's always inherent value within that, because you are one with spirit, and you are a manifestation of the divine. And that's definitely a very important and valuable reason to take care of yourself, to take care of your body, and to really truly love yourself for who you are. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude your reading here by getting you a final card from our Cosmic Dancer Oracle. And I'm just going to go ahead and get you a final message from this deck here. Okay. So the final card that we have is Come Back to Center. And I think this is definitely very much related to what I was saying about that previous card with the first quarter moon in Taurus. But with this card of Come Back to Center, I feel that it's very important to make sure that you're getting enough rest, taking care of your body, grounding yourself, because I feel that especially with that Ten of Swords and that Judgment energy, I feel that you are moving through something difficult and heavy. Maybe this is some kind of spiritual purification. I think that that's a very good word to use to describe this this potential situation as some kind of spiritual purification that you're going through, especially with that Judgment card. And I think that it's more important now, maybe more important now than ever, to take care of your body and make sure you're getting enough rest, eating nourishing foods, and hydrating properly, and also getting enough sunlight, getting out in nature, especially during this time of year. Within the northern hemisphere, it's beginning of summer, so it's definitely a very beautiful time to really soak up some sun and um, just let your energy be healed by those radiant frequencies from the sun and the cosmos, and from the earth as well, from those what's the word I'm looking for, from the I just blanked, but never mind. Maybe it'll come to me. It's kind of a strange, obscure word anyway, but I think it's important to come back to center, to really take care of your needs and make sure that you are getting enough rest. And sometimes it is difficult when you have so much on your to-do list, and it feels like things are just never ending. And when it feels like you're never going to be perfect, because ultimately you never are, and that's okay, because there's perfection within the imperfection. And the fact that you exist is perfection within itself. So hopefully that made sense, and hopefully that resonated. I obviously need to get some rest, so I'm going to go ahead and conclude your reading here, Group 3, and it's been an absolute privilege to bring you this reading. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And I'm sending you so much light, so much love, and so many blessings upon your journey. Thank you so much.